Yo, yo, yo. What is going on, YouTube? So, today we are going to be doing a build guide video on my Druid. So, I wanted to make a build guide video on this build. This video is going to be more of like a introduction video slash like what my plans are as I get farther into the league. As you can see, I'm only like just start at the very start of maps. I haven't gotten very far. Unfortunately, I have been busy with work and finals, so I haven't been able to play as much as I would like to. However, now that finals are over, I will be streaming a lot more often and making more YouTube videos. So, first things first, if you have any questions on the build and or would just like to stop by, I am streaming every single day on twitch.tv/bombaberry. It's going to be the exact same thing as my YouTube, just on Twitch. And then, yeah, you can just stop by if you have any questions, or if you would like, just stop by and say what's up. So first things first, we did decide to go with the Oracle Ascendancy, as you can see from all these extra nodes. So let's just let's start with the skills. So with the Druid build, we're going to be going full Werewolf. It's going to be like a cast on crit, cast on elemental ailment Comet build. It is performing very well so far. I will see as we go into the end game. I'm having a bit of survivability issues right now, but I have so much damage. Like right now, it's not too much of a problem. As I get more ascendancy, or as I get more passive tree points, I will be spending some of those on some of these defensive nodes, like this one and over here. I'm going here right now, so we will be getting a lot more defensive nodes, so definitely stay tuned. I will be making another video once I am farther in, but for now we have Shred, which is your basic melee attack from the wolf form. In this we have rapid attacks. Let's go ahead and change that real quick. That I forgot to upgrade that gem a long time ago. So we have Shred with rapid attacks 2. And then we have elemental armament 2. Close combat 2. And then we are also going to have our last one as Long Fuse 2. Now, why Long Fuse 2 is really good, shout out to Moxie. He is also doing a wolf Druid build. His build is not cast on crit, but he is going to be playing a basic melee ice wolf, just like me. So go if you want. If you don't want cast on crit or anything like that, I highly suggest go checking out his video. He did a really good job with his build. I've been watching and taking some notes. I've used some of his stuff to upgrade my build, so big shout out to him. But Long Fuse, basically what it does is increase detonation time, 70% increase detonation time, because your shred, when you shred an enemy when they're already frozen, they actually pop off these little ice fragments, which are projectiles that land and they explode after a shortened delay. So it does the 70% increased detonation time, and then also detonations from supported skills deal 35% more damage. So that's going to be really big because a lot of those ice fragments do a lot of damage. Our next skill is going to be Lunar Blessing. This is what turns you into the Ice Wolf. Use it and you howl and you gain a lot of damage as ice, or as cold damage, sorry. For this, you're going to want For this, you're gonna want elemental armament. You're gonna want magnified area. I am still kind of testing stuff with this, but magnified area for sure you'd want. Second wind is beautiful because it gives you a second charge, and while you're using the first charge, the second charge is coming off of cooldown, so you basically have this infinitely up. Mixed with your rage, we have a lot of rage, which you'll see later, which enables this to last longer because it says that it consumes rage to make the buff duration longer. As well as that, we also have this. Now this is what I'm testing. Don't know how much this is going to do for me. If it's not going to do a whole lot, then I will be removing this and putting back on the one that I had before, which was extended duration, just to have a longer duration of this. I've been having some mana problems. Obviously, I could just be spamming potions all day. Really don't want to do that. So, in the other on the other side, we're gonna try this. If it doesn't work, then whatever. But yeah, this is not necessary. If you don't want to run this or you don't have this, then just go extended duration. Or you really realistically you don't even need extended duration if you don't want to go that either, because it's always up with second wind. Lunar assault, we have deep freeze to make your enemies stunned longer. You have elemental armament just for the damage. Super critical because with the oracle, we are going to be speccing into inevitable critical hits, making it so we are always critting. You just want to, you're always going to crit, but the more times your crit chance has to re-roll, the lower your crit damage is going to be. So we don't need maxed out crit chance. We want to just stack our crit damage as high as possible. That way, when we do roll, when it does re-roll, we don't lose as much crit damage. Again, another shout out to Moxie. Someone had made a chart and it showed how much extra damage you're really getting from this node, depending on how much crit chance you have. And the biggest damage bonus you're really getting is around 40%. So we're going to be aiming for 40% crit chance on your weapon, which obviously I am nowhere near that right now. I just started maps. I still have a long ways to go. And then we also have magnified area. You could swap this out for more damage if you want. You could go a more damage node like what did I have slotted in before? I believe I had Ice Bite slotted in before, which just gives you more cold damage on freezing an enemy. So this is amazing. Ice Bite is beautiful. If you do not want to run magnified area, you don't need area, you need more damage, go ahead and run that. And then the last one is Bater's Vengeance. However, now that I'm remembering, you can't actually run this gem along with Ice Bite, so you can either run one or the other. Right now I'm running this one. If you don't have enough for this one, because it is a few exalts, just use Ice Bite. Ice Bite works just as good. And then for Pounce, we are going to be using Magnified Area and March for Death. Now, me personally, I have Pounce. I haven't really been using it all that much. I use it for mobility more than I actually use for damage. Mostly because the wolves are kind of bugged right now, so the wolves don't actually do damage, the ones that you spawn from Pounce. So you could if you want to use Pounce more, you could socket freezing mark into Pounce, and then I'll give you more freeze buildup on your targets and stuff. I'll show you why I'm not doing that in a few seconds. You'll see why I'm not using Pounce, because I'm using another skill. Cross Slash. We are using a Cross Slash with Magnified Area, and then with Execute 2 and Heft. This is realistically only really using Cross Slash at the end of your rotation, which I will show you that in a second. So yeah, these three are good. Savage Fury. Now, with Savage Fury, they have it so when you put Savage Fury, if you put it on your second weapon set, not your talisman is your first. If you put this on your second weapon set only, then when you're in your wolf form, it's not actually taking any of your spirit. As you can see, we still have 30 spirit, but it's not actually taking any spirit, but we can still use it, and it still works just as fine and everything. Also, we have Shattering Palm. I'm not really sure what happened to my first skill gem I had on here, but let me go ahead and place that back. I have okay, I don't know. Oh, I don't have dexterity. But okay, I don't know what's going on with that, but anyways, Shattering Palm, we had Rage 3 in here. I was using this because it gives it more attack speed while you're not at maximum rage. Since we are not running the persistent gem that gives you 3.5 rage every second, and we're also not going shaman, so we don't have that inherent 6% maximum rage per second node. We don't really have a way of building rage besides obviously attacking. So we have rage 3 in here, which is nice, kind of gives me 5 rage on hit. But the real reason I took it is for the attack speed, because Shattering Palm felt really slow. I feel obviously this will get better as I get more attack speed and stuff, but for now I just have Rage 3 for the attack speed. We also have Rapid Attacks 2, which is helping with that. We have Magnified Area, 45% increased area of effect, and then we have Hit and Run. This is just again for more skill speed because it was like extremely slow compared to the rest of my gameplay. Shattering Palm. Now I actually got this, I believe, from a Zizarin video. I was watching his video and it wasn't even necessarily a guide video. He just happened to have some gameplay of the wolf in the background, and I saw him using Shattering Palm, and I was like, well, that's a great idea, because that's what I used on my monk last league, and I really liked the dash of Shattering Palm. So that is actually why I decided to go for Shattering Palm over Pounce. Shattering Palm also, like, it has that beautiful dash, which is nice, and then also it attacks the enemy and all enemies around it, covering them in shards of ice, dealing damage, shatters the shards, and does an explosion, you know. This is beautiful. You just Shattering Palm in, and then you hit them with your Lunar Assault, and everything, it just explodes. Herald of Ice. Obviously, we have Herald of Ice. Since we are doing a cold build, it is beautiful for clear. It is like one of our main sources of our clear. We have Frozen Spite. This is beautiful because remember those, if you remember those ice fragments from earlier, I was telling you from Shred. Now, when we're exploding stuff with Herald of Ice, we will also be creating more of those ice fragments. So it's just really good. It does a lot of damage. Really good clear. Beautiful. Magnified Area. We have this. So we have 35% more. That should be a Magnified Area 2. Again, I am literally just getting out of the campaign, so a lot of this stuff I'm still upgrading. That will go in later. We are going to have Elemental Armament 2, just for more damage. We're going to have Cold Mastery for the level 1 of supported cold skills. And then we are going to have Elemental Focus just for more damage. Obviously, Herald of Ice, when it does the explosions, the monsters are already dead, so it doesn't inflict any elemental elements. It's once they're already frozen, so it's just more elemental damage. And then here is where the build gets fun. Here is my favorite part of the new Ascendancy that we chose, and the main reason we chose it. And this is why I'm so excited to get this build fully online. Now, Cast on Crit. I love Cast on Crit Comet. I think Comet is such a beautiful looking spell, and I'm not really much of a spellcaster type player. I don't usually play spellcasters. I usually play like melee characters. But in PoE 2 and PoE 1, well, in PoE, you can use cast on crit to just automatically cast those spells as you are fighting, which I love. That is one of my favorite mechanics in the game. It has been for a very long time, and so just like last league where I made a cast on crit Flicker Strike monk build, I'm now going to be doing that with the wolf. So cast on crit, we have Comet slotted in, right? We have our main spell, and then we have Boundless Energy for the increased energy gained. We have Energy Retention for a chance to refund half of the energy cost. We have Magnified Area just for increased area of effect of the Comet. And then we have Supported Skills cost 40% less cost. Obviously, with our mana cost I was telling you about, this is a no-brainer. And then we also have an open slot because what I want to do, what I'm planning to do, once I get farther into my maps and start getting some more currency to spend on the build and all that, I will be going and getting a new amulet. I want an amulet that has plus 50 to spirit. If I can get a lot of spirit on my amulet, then I also am going to get a lot of spirit on my body armor. Then I will be able to afford another cast on elemental ailment, which I will have the exact same setup, and then I will just be having double the cast on crit, cast on elemental ailment. It'll be a shit ton of comments raining down on top of everything else we already have going on. So with this, it is so beautiful, and I will show you why here in a second. Cast on crit. As you can see, we have, so in case you're wondering, like, oh, will you have enough spirit? We definitely will have enough spirit, and then let me tell you why. These are plans once I get enough spirit, but there is a node over here on the monk side of the tree that says meta skills have a 20% increased reservation efficiency. Now, cast on crit and cast on elemental element are both meta skills. Having a 20% increased reservation efficiency on a skill that costs 100 spirit is going to mean that it costs 20 less spirit. So we're going to have 40 less spirit from those two meta gems. So those two combined are only going to take up 160 spirit, and then on top of that 30 for our Herald of Ice, so that's going to be 190 spirit. And then as I said earlier, if you do the weapon swap tech, you don't actually get any, you don't actually need to reserve any spirit for Savage Fury, as it's on your second weapon set. So that will also still work just as fine. And as you can see right now, I have 130, so I still need like 60 spirit. I am going to be getting that from a new chest piece and then a new amulet as well. Now, on to the passive tree. In the passive tree, as you can see, we chose the Oracle Ascendancy. I am 6 out of 8 Ascendancy nodes. So far, we took the Lesser Harm, which gives enemy critical hit chance against you is unlucky, and damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky. Good defensive node, really helps you. It helps with survivability a bit. And then after that, you go up here and we take inevitable critical hits. Now, as I explained earlier, this is a beautiful node. This node gives you, it basically makes it so every single hit you do is going to be a crit. You're going to crit no matter what. However, if you say you go your first auto attack and it's not supposed to crit, it would re-roll the crit again, but you would lose, critical damage bonus. You have 30% less critical damage bonus for each reroll. So say that it has to reroll 10 times to get a crit, then you're going to have 300% less critical damage bonus on that crit. So again, around the sweet spot is around 40% crit chance. So if you can get somewhere around there, That is going to be beautiful. You're going to have a lot of damage bonus, critical damage bonus, because we're going to be stacking that as high as possible, since we obviously do not have to go as far on the critical hit chance. And then on the other side, we are going down here to walk the paths not taken. This is a beautiful node. After this, I believe we will just be going to Entwined Realities. To be honest, I really don't like any of these nodes, any of these other nodes. Like, none of these are really that interesting. Like Totems, that just has absolutely zero synergy with our kit. Moment of Vulnerability, just like doesn't really seem interesting and or good at all. So we're not going to be taking that. Same thing with Align Fate. We're not a spellcaster. Even if it worked, yeah, it just says casting the matching spell. So we are not a spellcaster, so this wouldn't even work on us. And then for this one, it's just not good. So even if it is good, it's not what we're looking for. So we're gonna go here, and we can allocate non-keystone passives in medium range of our allocated keystone passives. So now onto the actual passive tree. We started here and we went up and grabbed this. I'm not gonna go through every single node, but obviously everything will be up on PoE Ninja. I'm gonna link my PoE Ninja at the end of the video. I'll have it down in the description, so you can, if you don't want to go through this with me, you can just see it all on there. So here we went up. For anyone who is still a very low level, I did actually go down on this part of the tree first. I had originally passed through here in these nodes, and then later on, once I already had all of this, I already had all of these nodes, I just went and connected like these 3 nodes here, because it was cheaper than spending these 5 nodes here. It just saves me 2 nodes, which is really important, because with the Oracle, with walking the paths not seen, it gives us all of these extra nodes. I think it's like 130 or something. It's a lot of nodes that we can potentially choose from. So our passive points are going to be very important. Now with this, we went up here. We are grabbing Personal Touch. I originally had this allocated. I needed to free up a point for something. I forgot to put this back on, but I will be reallocating this with my next passive point. But we take Personal Touch, really good. Attack damage, increase immobilization buildup. Freeze is a form of immobilization. So this is essentially 12% increased freeze buildup. 8 more here, and more attack damage. Now here, we're going to go up here and grab this. 2 rage melee on hit, or 2 rage on melee hit. Obviously beautiful, since we're going to need to build up rage. And then here, another rage on melee hit. And then also for every 10 rage it grants you 12% increased fizz damage. This is really good node for us, since we are going to be stacking rage anyways. We are also eventually going to be going up here and grabbing this anger management. This is again a node that you cannot see unless you are on the Oracle Ascendancy and you have chosen this node where you can walk the paths not taken. This is really good. It gives us, on top of what we already have, it's going to give us another 21 max rage, and then 200% faster start of inherent rage loss. Won't really matter, because we're going to be building up rage all the time anyways. And we went up here. We're going to, so I literally just changed my passive tree. So like, if you see these jewel sockets are not socketed, it's because I just changed it. So I still have to buy a jewel for this socket. Anyways, we go up here and we are grabbing these nodes also from the Oracle. Very good nodes. As you can see, it's just increase fizz, increase fizz, increase fizz, skill effect duration, increase fizz, and big 35% increased fizz damage. These are all beautiful. Yeah, nothing really special, just a lot of fizz. We also went here and are grabbing these armor and max energy shield nodes. These are all really good. And then this one gives you 60% increased armor and energy shield from your equipped body armor. Really good to get, really important to get a really high base of armor and energy shield on your body armor, as this obviously will amplify it a lot. We also went down here and we grabbed these cold nodes. You get increased damage while shapeshifted, increased skill speed while shapeshifted, and then the increased critical hit chance and skill speed. And then here you gain 8% of damage as extra cold. This is obviously beautiful since we are stacking a lot of cold anyways. It'll make it really easy to freeze, stuff like that. Then we go down here. We have the increased melee with hits at close range. Increased area effect for attacks, and then this one gives increased area effect if you've killed recently. Obviously we're going to be killing a lot. And then increased area of effect for attacks. If we go down here, now this is important. You are most likely going to need a jewel with recover percent max mana on kill. Very important because we are having a bit of mana problems. Without this node, the mana problems are much worse. So that node jewel helps out a lot. The rest you can kind of just have whatever if you don't have the budget for it. I would recommend getting some max mana on kill. And then if you go down, we're gonna go down here. We're gonna grab these. I would have, well, actually not first. These are later. We'll be getting this a little later. Like right now when where I'm at when you're going in maps. Sorry if I'm clearing my throat a lot and coughing. I am a bit sick. But we are gonna go here again. Another node that you cannot see without the Oracle node. And this one is beautiful. It gives you increased critical hit, critical damage bonus, and then also 50% increased critical hit chance. Really good node here. First, we are 100% going to be taking that. We also are going to be taking this node. This gives you some rage on hit and then maximum rage while shapeshifted. Obviously, we're going to be shapeshifted most of the time. The only time we're not going to be shapeshifted is when we are using our freezing palm, which is literally just at the beginning of a pack. You dash in with freezing palm, and then that's it. For the rest of the time, you are shapeshifted. So this is beautiful. Also here, we are going to be grabbing this physical damage, increased skill speed node. Beautiful. Nothing really need to say about that. Here, we're going to go up here and grab damage penetrates elemental resistances, increased skill speed, and up here, gain 8% of damage as extra damage of a random element while shapeshifted. So this is, again, this you cannot see if you're not Oracle. Then we are also going down here and grabbing these crit nodes, increased crit chance and crit damage bonus. We also, important to make sure we go down here and grab these. These makes your strikes deal splash damage. So all of your melee attacks will deal splash damage. Just your area of effect for your attacks. Really good. Now, what our plan is so far, obviously, this isn't one-to-one. Things could change. I might change up the passive tree a little bit. But as far as I am, as far as right now, I am planning on taking some more defenses down here. I'm going to grab these defensive nodes. This one is really good. Makes your armor also apply elemental damage. I also want to grab this node for the increased armor. Over here, there is another one that gives 3 armor per 1 item energy shield on your equipped boots. This one is really good. We will be going ahead and grabbing that. And then after we get some defenses, I would like to go up and get this node here. Every rage also grants 2% increased spell damage. You might be thinking, why would you need that? But we are going a cast on crit build with the Comet, so this will make our comets do more damage. So we are going to want that. Also, we are going, I was thinking about this, not, again, I haven't done it yet, but I've been thinking about getting the jewel that lets you pick from a certain, it basically gives you this where you can allocate passives around a certain keystone, and I would use it on the Wild Surge incantation in order to pick up this node here. 50% increased damage if you've triggered a skill recently. Obviously, since we are running cast on crit, we are constantly triggering spells, so this would be a big damage increase, 50%, all the time. It's just that would always be up. Yeah, and then as far as the rest of our nodes, we will see when we get there. Again, I will be updating this guide, and I will be streaming every day, going through the going farther through the maps and everything. But yeah, now we can move on to the gear section. So as I stated earlier, we have the Shattering Palm, which we can only use with a quarterstaff. So that's obviously why I have a quarterstaff for my second hand. The quarterstaff really doesn't matter. We don't really care too much about, like, obviously the damage is nice, but we're not using Shattering Palm much for the damage. If you want to get a really nice quarterstaff, you can. It's not really going to do much for you because you're attacking with the talisman anyways. So I just have a random quarterstaff in my offhand, so I can use Shattering Palm. And then on my main hand, we have our talisman. You're going to want a talisman with a really high % increased physical damage. If you can find one with cold damage, I would also do that. You're going to need critical hit chance. Mine is really low. You're going to want something way higher than this. I need to get a better talisman. This is what I have right now. But then also the melee level of melee skills is really good, and then increased elemental damage with attacks is also very good. For your gloves, I am considering opting for Essentia Sanguis. Now, do I think Essentia Sanguis is best in slot for the build? Not at all. I don't think it is at all. It's a evasion and energy shield item. We're not doing evasion. We're doing armor and energy shield. However, I really don't like the way you have to build up energy shield. Like, I'm always kind of taking these little hits, so energy shield to recharge doesn't really feel all that great. I did see Moxie was doing something with this node here, where excess life recovery from regeneration is also applied to energy shield, and then energy shield does not recharge. So basically, he's just stacking a bunch of life recovery, and then that gets applied to his energy shield. So he's just like constantly regenerating energy shield as if it was life. Now that could be really good. I would have to test it out and kind of, like, I was using it for a bit, but it didn't really feel all that good. Probably because I didn't have much life recovery. So I'm sure if we stacked more life recovery, this would probably be good. But I might also just try Essentia Sanguis, because I really like the item. I just think the item is cool. I love that you can leech your energy shield. It's cool. But anyways, but yeah, for this one, we just have armor, energy shield, melee, +1 to all melee skills, and attack speed. Nothing crazy. Here, just cold damage to attacks if you can, resistances, and yeah, that's it. Just resistances, and more resistances. Same thing with the other ring. It's just going to be cold damage to attacks and more resistances. The belt is just going to be armor, resistances, and life regen. Again, life regen only if you're using that keystone passive. Like I said, I was trying it. I didn't really think it was all that great. I probably need more life regen, but whatever. Yeah. Boots. We are going to want movement speed, energy shield, and resistances. Now, you want a full energy shield base here. You don't want a hybrid base. You want full energy shield. You want to try to stack as much energy shield as possible because of this node that we were talking about earlier, where you get 3 armor per 1 item energy shield on equipped boots. So if you stack a lot of energy shield, you're going to be getting a lot of armor from your boots. So that's good. And then for the amulet, like I said, later I will be upgrading this. I need more spirits, so I will be getting spirit on this. But besides that, it's gonna be the same thing: attributes, elemental resistances, anything you really need. But yeah, I'd say main stats here are just like attributes and resistances, and then spirit. For the helmet, we are going to be getting a full armor base. It's gonna be armor, increased armor, max life, and then resistances. And one stat line which is very good is the armor also applies to elemental damage. We're going to be running this on both our helmet and our chest piece. It is very good. It's a very good stat, especially when you're stacking armor, because it just makes it so that you take less damage from elemental hits. And then for the body armor, we are going to be going with armor, an energy shield. You want a hybrid, like I said earlier, because of the passive tree node up here, which gives you 60% increased armor and energy shield from your equipped body armor. So you're going to want a hybrid, and you're going to want to get that as high as possible. You're also going to want spirit on here, and then just some resistances and elemental damage. Armor also applies to elemental damage. So that, and then I just have basic charms, nothing crazy. Like I said, I'm still new to maps, so I don't really have much currency right now. And then I am going to be right back. I will show you what the gameplay looks like. I will just run a basic map, a tier 4, since that is where I currently am in the game. And I will show you what that looks like. And right now. All right, here is the map showcase. So like I said earlier, you're going to be engaging with Shattering Palm and then using Lunar Assault, and then Shred whenever the mobs are frozen already. So now, as you can see, one thing I also wanted to mention is that since we are running cast on crit, when we go into our lunar blessing form, it rains down these ice like beams from the sky, and those also crit because of our inevitable critical. Everything we do crits, so those are also stacking our cast on critical. So our cast on critical is up a lot. You'll see a lot of comets flying. It'll be even more obviously when we get cast on elemental ailment as well, but this is just what we have for now. But yeah, so you're gonna go in, you'll clear like 1 or 2 packs, or you can probably just clear 1 pack, and then you can use your wolf form. It's just like the more rage you have when you use it, the longer it lasts. So you ideally want to get as much rage as possible before using it, and then from there it's permanent. It'll just be like permanently up because you'll be getting more rage while you're in the form, and you'll just constantly be using it, you know. But do be careful when using it, that you're not like right in front of a pack, because it will it does have a cast time to it, so you can just get like straight up one shot if you're not paying attention. But yeah, this is what the clear is looking like right now. As you can see, we're just exploding everything on our screen. Not really much of a problem, but as you can see, like, our health is dropping from these mobs because we don't really have much defenses right now. Part of that is because I'm also like gonna buy a new chest piece, so I'm missing a lot of armor and energy shield right now because my chest piece is just not good. I'm going to buy one soon, or I actually already bought one, but it's like I wasn't paying attention when I bought it to the level, so the level on it is too high. I need to level up a few times before I can actually put it on. But yeah, as you can see, these little like ice things rain down, and that is stacking. Again, if I just stand here and I let them hit, you'll see that my cast on crit is still going up. Like, watch. If I hit, my cast on crit is still going up, and it is casting comets for me. So it synergizes really well together as a whole, that you have cast on crit along with that node. Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention to the map because I was just trying to showcase the abilities and stuff. So let me go over to this boss. All right, that's not real. So we're gonna use our lunar blessing here before we go in because we had rage that we were losing. But you want to basically and my game froze. All right. Well, that was a terrible example. We're gonna keep it all one cut, bro. We're gonna keep it all the one cut because we're already done with the map. So let me just reload this real quick. Sorry about this. Technical difficulties, they do occur. But yeah, the boss damage on this build is beautiful, especially once we get both cast on elemental ailment and cast on crit. We'll be doing a lot of boss damage because we'll have so many more comets raining down. Yeah, so once we freeze him, then you want to, okay, this kind of messed up our combo. I'm gonna let him unfreeze so we can kind of do our combo. Basically what your combo is going to be is, hopefully when you go into the boss room, you'll already have rage. If not, you can build it up just by using your lunar assault to build up freeze on him anyways, since you have to do it a few times to build up enough freeze. So it would look like you would go in, you would use your shattering palm, lunar assault until he gets close, and then once he's close to being frozen, you can use your lunar blessing along with your savage fury, and then just freeze him and just go ham with shred. And this will just do so much damage. Most times it will kill the boss before they're even unfrozen. If not, you can just rinse and repeat, and it kills extremely fast. You do so much damage. But yeah, that is the build and what it looks like. Again, like I said, this is a very, very early version of the build. I literally just got into maps, so we are nowhere near done with this. We have so much more cooking to do with this build, and I'm sure by the end of it, we are going to be clearing maps super fast and one-shotting the pinnacle bosses in the game. So yeah, that is it for now. If you have any questions regarding the build, on like why I'm building certain things or why I'm speccing into certain things on the passive tree, or you just want help with certain things, again, I will be live streaming every single day on twitch.tv/palmaberry. I will be live usually in the afternoon/evening part of the day, due to my sleep schedule and also because of my work. On weekends, on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and sometimes Thursdays, I will be streaming a bit later in the night, around like 9 to 10, because that's when I get off work. However, during Monday through Wednesday, I will be live anywhere in the afternoon through the rest of the night. I will be live basically all day long. So tomorrow I will be live. If you want to tune in, go ahead, feel free to say hi or ask any questions. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss my new updated guides I will be posting in the next following days. I appreciate you guys all for watching. Hope everyone stays safe and have a good one.